again, and I'm just showing you how to determine it, because I may have a question like that on the test. Okay, that's going to ask you to, what is the quality factor of this wave? Okay, what is the quality factor of this sound? So I just want you to know how to get that number. So that means also you guys have to know that formula right there. Main frequency divided by the bandwidth will give you the quality factor. Okay? So there was that 4 formulas you guys have to know, or 3. You gotta know how to calculate, well, you gotta know the 13 microseconds, right? How to calculate the depth of reflector and the total distance traveled, okay? You don't really have to know that formula, right? Because we know automatically that every 13 microseconds, sound is traveling 1 centimeter, right? The depth of that reflector is gonna be 1 centimeter, correct? So you really don't have to know that one, right? Okay? But the other 2 would be PRP, 13 microseconds times the imaging depth, right? Okay? And the PRF, 77,000 divided by the imaging depth. Okay? And this one now. So know your formulas, guys. Know those formulas. I hope you guys wrote that down. I'll say it again. I'll say it again.
It's right here, I'll tell you. No,
say it again.
In another way.
So to determine our PRP, post repetition period, right? Because that can be determined, because that's determined by the depth, right? The depth we travel. That is going to be 13 microseconds multiplied by the imaging depth. Okay. Another formula you guys need to know is the formula for PRF, to determine the PRF, the maximum depth, or the post repetition frequency. That's going to be 77,000 divided by the imaging depth. Okay? And the Q factor, guys, I guarantee Q factor is going to be on the boards. I guarantee it. Like Mac used to say. Q factor is the main frequency divided by the bandwidth. Okay? And you know, because Q factor is inversely related to the bandwidth, so that's one way to always remember that. So it's always going to be at the bottom of the fraction, right? That lets you know that it's inversely related. Think about this right here. Because remember, what is because these are reciprocals. What is PRF equal to? What is PRF equal to?
77,000 divided by
1 over the PRP, right?
Yeah.
1 over PRP. That's letting you know right there that those are inverse related, right there, because it's always going to be on the bottom part of that dividend or what have you.
So the QF is directly related to the PRP.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm saying like.
I didn't even say they had a relationship.
Oh,
I'm just giving you another example of a relationship that's inversely related.
So they're not.
I'm just giving you another example of one. Lauren, the reason I didn't want to use, what did you want me to use right here?
I said 7.
7, but it would have been 5 and 5. It would have been 1. That would have been easy to figure out. That would have been too easy to figure out. So I want you guys to, you may have to. I don't think I'm gonna have like math on there like that, but you may have to figure that out. But this right here, guys, is what? Or resonant frequency. Or a resonant frequency. Okay. They have a range of frequencies within the transducer. That's called the bandwidth. That is the range of frequencies between the highest and lowest frequencies. Okay, and that's how you determine your bandwidth. All right. And the Q factor is the main frequency divided by the bandwidth. Okay. They have an inverse relationship, guys. Again, they have an inverse relationship. Q factor and bandwidth, inversely related. Inversely proportional.
So you just took it?
If that's how you think about it, yes, ma'am.
Is it because it's divided?
Well, that's the easy way that I can remember it. That's the easiest way that I can remember that they have an inverse relationship. The reason that if you wanted it in words, the reason that they're inverse is because when we talk about quality, so we have high quality, right? High quality means that it's gonna, when we're talking about sound, the sound is gonna operate at the main frequency. That's what we're going to equate that to. If we want high quality, it's going to operate more at the main frequency. Narrow bandwidth is more likely to operate at the main frequency because it has less ranges of frequencies. Okay? So when we talk about bandwidth being in the difference between those two, so we're just trying to determine what is the quality of this sound. Okay? The main frequency over the range of frequencies will give us the quality factor. Okay. Wide bandwidth or broadband is likely to be low quality. Okay. The more what is it saying? The more dampened that sound is. Get there. A shorter dampened pulse has a lower quality factor. Guys, I'm in the purple box on page 119. A shorter dampened pulse has a lower quality factor. That's our imaging probes, right? So we like shorter dampened pulses, right? Because that helps us, that increases our image quality, right? That increases our axial resolution, a shorter dampened pulse. So we prefer low quality. You always really want the highest quality, right? You want the highest quality. You really would love it to operate at, I would love the damping layer just to stop the sound immediately. Unfortunately, with physics, that's just not how it works. We would love to have high quality factor and short pulses, right? Because we would love for it to operate at its main frequency all the time. Unfortunately, that's not possible. So, with a shorter damping pulse, that's going to provide us with a lower quality factor that's more likely to be a diagnostic imaging probe. Okay. A longer undampened pulse has a higher quality factor because it's operating at the it's operating at the main frequency or very near to it. Okay. So our three consequences again, guys, are three consequences of the backing material: decreased sensitivity, okay, wide bandwidth or broadband, and
Low
Q
factor.
factor. Low Q factor.
So for the low Q factors, like the more bandwidth is gonna be, right? Because it's inversely related.
Right, exactly. The higher the range of frequencies, the lower the quality factor. Absolutely, dude.
Q factor affect the quality of the.
Q factor is the quality. Q factor is the quality.
Yeah, it will affect the it's the quality of the image resolution.
It's the quality of the sound being produced at its main frequency. That's what it is. Q factor is the quality of the sound being produced at its main frequency, right? Its resonant frequency. Us in diagnostic ultrasound, that's just the consequence of using them back. We would love the quality factor to be high, like I said. Of course, who wants low quality? We would love the quality. We would love the sound to operate at its main frequency. If they ever came out with a damping material that could stop sound immediately without changing the frequencies, then definitely. But the consequence of using a backing layer or damping layer is that it has a low quality factor. It has a wide range of frequencies, because of the damping layer or the damping layer or the what's the term for that? The backing material.
So if the quality of Q factor is high, that means
It has narrow bandwidth. Narrow bandwidth. Q factor relates to the sound operating at its resonant frequency. We're not talking about image quality per se when we're talking about Q factor. When we're talking about image quality, when we're talking about axial resolution, we're talking about the spatial pulse length. I don't want us to mix those two together. Okay, when we're talking about the Q factor, we're talking about the quality of the sound operating at its main frequency. Okay, is it operating close at its main frequency, or is it operating at a wider range of frequencies, which will give us low quality? Okay, because the range of it is far away from the main frequency. Like right here, this is our main frequency right here. Okay, a higher quality factor would be the red marks because it's operating closer in range to the main frequency compared to the blue line, which is operating at a wider range of those frequencies away from those main frequencies. So the blue would be low quality factor, wide bandwidth. Okay. Got it. Low quality factor, wide bandwidth, or broadband. The red would be high quality factor, narrow bandwidth. Okay.
Like if if I'm thinking like at you say main frequency is resident, right? So the red is got like the people nearest to resident, like the most important people, so they have higher.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Okay. So since imaging probes use backing material, they have a wide bandwidth. They are often referred to as low quality. All right. Transducers in therapeutic and continuous wave Doppler do not contain backing material. Okay? They have a narrow bandwidth. They're operating closer to the main frequency. All right. Q factor is directly related to the pulse length. Right? Absolutely, right? Absolutely, right? Q factor is directly related to the pulse length. I want you guys just to know these relationships. Q factor is directly related to the pulse length.
Can you explain that?
The longer the spatial pulse length, the higher
High
the Q
frequency.
factor. The higher the Q factor. The shorter, because we like short duration. Remember, we talking about imaging probes, what we use, diagnostic ultrasound. We like short pulses, right? That's what's gonna, so that's like saying we go automatically gonna have a low Q factor because of that.
So the short pulse length is the from cycle to cycle. The shorter.
Absolutely, that's what pulse, no, we're talking about pulses. Pulses,
Pulses, which is-
pulse length, the length of the pulse. Which
Stops.
if you wanna break it down, yeah, that's cycle to cycle. The distance from between cycle, or not between cycles, the shorter the distance of the cycle is gonna create a decreased pulse length. We're talking about, but the overall pulse, if it's short, you're just drawing one cycle. If the pulse is short, then we're gonna have low quality factor, right? Because we like short pulses.
So you're saying this one right now is one cycle. So I'm talking
That's
about.
not,
this
that's
is the
way more than a
space.
cycle. That's like a cycle and a half.
Okay.
Remember, a cycle is beginning of one
Pulse
to the
end.
beginning of the next cycle.
That.
She mean,
To the
this
space?
is pulse. This
Okay,
pulse,
what about-
not continuous.
Well, we're talking about pulses. You're talking about just cycles. There's cycles within a pulse, right?
Yes.
Right. So you just drawing me one. That's not going to create a great image, right? Because you just showing me one cycle.
Okay. Can you draw this part only, like how it's gonna be from what to what? Like when you say pulse length.
The length of the pulse. The length. This is a pulse right here, right? This is a pulse. That the length of this
Mhm.
and the length of this. This one is going to have what, a higher quality factor than this one, because the pulse length and the Q factor directly related.
Okay.
So there's multiple cycles in one pulse. Is that true?
Absolutely, absolutely, Pat. Absolutely. There's always been multiple. Remember, in diagnostic ultrasound, a pulse is made up of 2 to 4 cycles, right? Right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Definitely. Remember, that's back in chapter 3 when we were talking about describing sound. Okay? That's when we learned about our 7 parameters. Okay? Period, frequency, wavelength, propagation speed, and then our three bigness parameters. Then we got the pulse sound. We're specifically talking about pulse, spatial pulse length, pulse repetition period, duty factor, pulse repetition frequency. Did I cover everything? I covered all 5. Okay. So definitely, there are multiple cycles create a pulse. Multiple cycles create a pulse. Ooh. Know our relationship, guys. I feel like we just went backwards. Like, of course, guys, multiple cycles are in the pulse. Definitely. Can't have a pulse without more than one cycle.
Trying to connect.
As far as the formula is concerned for the quality factor, we don't have to know a range in regard to numbers, right? It's just knowing the relationship.
Just knowing the relationship.
Okay.
Just knowing the relationship. Quality factor is inversely related to the bandwidth. The quality factor is directly related to the pulse length. Again, guys, quality factor inversely related to the bandwidth.
Yeah.
Quality factor is directly related to the pulse length. So let's kind of do a recap of the back end material, guys. Do a recap. So when we're talking about our imaging transducers, what we use in diagnostic ultrasound, guys. Mr. Say you're talking too loud. Pulses with short, we like pulses with short duration and length. Okay, these are all characteristics of our imaging transducers. Pulses with short duration and length, of course, right?